Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up,
I don't
YouTube?
know.
Welcome back to Coach CB, the channel that we are encouraging athletes to look at sports a little bit deeper to understand that it's not just the sport, but you can learn from it and you can grow as a person. We done had so many interviews, and so now we've got another one with my homeboy. He is just a really cool person. I mean, if you have a sports team, you want him on your sports team because he makes the atmospheres 10 times better. So that's what I really like about this guy. So drum roll, please. Tony Todd, how you doing, man?
Good man, good man.
That's good, man. I'm glad to have you on here. We're gonna hopefully get these questions some good answers for you. So the first question I have is, how long have you been playing sports? What sports have you played? And do you have a favorite one?
So I first started playing like team sports or like sports for like an actual team when I started high school. So I played all 4 years, 3 years varsity, 1 year JV, but then I played districts for the varsity team that junior year. I mean that JV year, and then I played all varsity soccer all 4 years in high school. And I don't know. I really liked soccer at the very beginning, and then I fell in love with basketball during the summer of eighth grade. That's when I fell in love with basketball. So that I mean, I like both, but I like basketball a lot better. But soccer's really really fun. So
I feel you. I feel you. You know me, I like basketball the most, but I play college tennis, so I'm starting to like it. You know, it's fun, but it's just a lot more difficult. But basketball, it's like you can have fun whether you're playing good, bad. You just like playing, so that's why I like basketball so much. So the next question I have for you, my phone's buffering, so forget it. I'll just ask. I'll just ask a different one. The next question I have for you is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
um, ooh, the best piece of advice I was given was to honestly just keep working. Um, and then it says no matter what, just keep working, and then your time will come. Basically, trust the process. It's probably the best advice I've ever received. It's really simple, but if you take it into consideration, I think it's when you look at like the process of how you do things, and then you just keep working at it. I think eventually you just get that flow going, and then someday you'll be able to reach that point that you want to get to.
Yeah, that's the huge thing. You know, that's what I'm all about on my other channel, CB's Territory, where we talk about going through that process and chasing your dreams. And then on here, we kind of talk about with the sports, you know, how yeah, it is a process, and so it's not just a sport, but if you like that practice of getting better and working hard in your sport, that's going to teach you so much about life in general. So that's really important. And so the next question I have is, what have sports done for you?
Me, sports has done a lot ever since it was introduced to my life. Like I think high school was when sports really became something. But I think before high school, just playing in gym class, um, sports did a lot of things. Like as a kid growing up, I didn't have that much friends. I was weird. I was awkward. So whether it was recess playing kickball or soccer, um, that's was where I found like friends. That's where I found my outlet to just have fun. Don't worry about anything else, and just to be yourself through that. And then I think in high school it just helped me find who I was and kind of like my work ethic. Sports also motivated me to get good grades because if I didn't get good grades, I couldn't play sports. So that was a big aspect of it. It was it taught me how to um, kind of see a lot of diversity and then how to work with diversity and all that stuff, and just meeting a lot of people, working with people, listening, learning, even teaching and coaching at a certain point, and also just to be an outlet so I can have fun, so I don't have to stress about a lot of things. So in a way, sports is just it's just one of those things I gotta have.
Yeah, man, you pretty much just said exactly my experience word for word. But yeah, definitely I was pretty shy. I didn't talk to a lot of people, and I only played one sport. I only played basketball freshman year, and so sophomore year I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try everything, and that kind of helped me break out of my shell and get to know a lot more people through the sports first of all, and then the people that play sports, they know people, so you get to know their friends, and it kind of builds that community. So I think that's so powerful. All right, so I wanted to get directly into the question for you. You know, I know you kind of went through a similar experience with me, but like you love basketball, but it's like you trying to grow and you trying to work and not getting the play time that you want. So like, how was that for you? And like, what did you learn from that whole kind of high school basketball experience?
So yeah, so because me and Corlin, like we just um our stories are pretty similar, but going to for let's say specifically, let's talk about like basketball. Basketball, I never played in middle school or at all. I just played in the gym in PE in the mornings. That's about it. And going into freshman year, I was new to the game. I was new to the sport. I didn't know much about basketball. I knew of basketball. I just didn't know all the technicalities to it. And my skills weren't even up to par. Um, but going in there, me being the only Asian, I just was like, okay, well, I'm here to make the team. That was my mentality. I was here to make the team. I wanted to play because I love the sport and I wanted to learn. And freshman year, I was a little bit intimidated by the guys that were trying out. Like I was the smallest kid there, and I didn't know anything. I was really small too, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna just follow what coach says and just keep on running. That was basically some freshman year tryouts was just keep on running. That's all it took. And I got cut um the last day of tryouts. I got cut, and then I decided to stay and watch you guys practice because of course I had to wait till the after school bus to come by anyways. But I wanted to watch you guys play and just learn from that. And after that, the coach said, "Here's your practice uniform. Come back next week, and then we'll see what we'll do with you." So then that's when I was like, I worked my butt off trying to survive. I was my lungs were burning, my throat was burning, I almost threw up, but I was like, I can't. He doesn't believe in water, so I was like, man, we got to keep running and stuff. So I was just after every practice, I just pushed myself, and I didn't want to miss practice, just like how I didn't want to miss class, all that stuff. I wanted to be there, and then the tryout process after he gave me the uniform, and then I went to practice a couple of days. I was running drills, and I remember we had this rebound drill, and I had grabbed rebounds over some of the tallest players because they didn't box me out. And me, I just didn't know. Like I just wanted to go for the ball, just go up for every rebound. Like that was just me. I just wanted to go for it. And then after a while, I got a couple rebounds, and the coach made them run suicides because they're like, "How'd you let Tony get a rebound over y'all?" And I was like, I don't know. But that's when I started proving myself. And then we had a little scrimmage between us and the girls varsity team. And I put up 4 points. I remember because I put a putback. Um, I think I got one mid range too. And then everyone was hyping me up. The whole team was hyping me up. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but hey. And then coach, after that, he was like, you stuck around practice, all that. And then he gave me my game bag with
Oh,
my, that large, extra large varsity basketball jersey. And then I was like, I made it. I put all that work in. And then through that I was like, okay, I deserve this uniform, so I'm gonna keep working hard and just to work on myself and get better.
yeah, I love that, man. Uh, yeah, when I look at you and I hear about your story, it just reminds me so much. You know, I my freshman year I almost got cut. You know, it was between me and Jay. I won't say his name because he doesn't want to be embarrassed or whatever. But it was between us two, and I was the least athletic. I have always been tired. I had gotten tired that year because I had asthma, and then I got my stamina together. But it was rough, and so we almost got cut. And then he decided to just like keep us both, and so that was crazy. And I just think about how that happened, and then how, like you said, you just work, you just go out there, you just do the best you can, you just work hard, and it leads to some opportunities for you to get some games and stuff like that. And if you can show what you got, then you can just continue to improve. So I really like that. Yeah, man. What was your favorite experience, in that with basketball or soccer or both?
Right. So for basketball, I mean, most of my experience was sitting on the bench, but like I was whenever I was on the bench, it just didn't really matter. Like I just like I knew if I was gonna sit on the bench for the whole game, it didn't really matter to me because I was that was the point where I was like, oh, or am I just gonna be mad and just sit there? I was constantly watching you guys and just other players go up in the court. I was literally learning basketball like right in front of my eyes, which I actually enjoyed that time when I was on the bench because I was learning plays that the other point guards were calling out, and I was actually very verbal on the bench during the game. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people heard or saw me, but I would always call out screens, and then it was always backdoor screens, all that. I was just learning it. I was just, reading the defense and all that. So I was ready mentally to get into the game and just to realize what plays were going to happen or whatnot. I think that aspect of learning just the game without playing it was pretty good. And then, of course, me starting a couple games and me playing the games are probably one of my favorite games because one of my favorite things about basketball because everybody at McKinley, everybody at my high school, like everybody supported me. So like I felt like me having that support boosted me a lot too, because a lot of people were like, Tony's in, we gotta watch out for him. And then me making a couple threes or getting a couple rebounds, just those little things, really made me happy because I did work a lot because we were playing in leagues with guys that were like 6'4", 6'5", maybe 6'8". I almost got dunked on freshman year. So like I was getting bullied, but like at the same time, I was like, well, I'm here. I'm not backing down. I'm not scared. I just wear that uniform out and I just play defense. I'm gonna do whatever I can. I think me just pulling through that and me just playing and not giving up. I really like that about basketball. And plus, it was a team sport, so every practice I worked hard to get better, and then I learned a lot of things too. And then for soccer was a bit fun because freshman year I was kind of like the same thing. I played it recreationally. Um, Never played for a team, but then I got a coach, and then I played with friends, and then a lot of those people on the team helped me get better. And then next thing you know, I got like really good at defense. I was just locking down people, and then I started being in the starting lineup, and then I just played. I was playing full games. You know, it was completely different from basketball, but I was playing full games in soccer, and I was actively took pride in defense, and I just got really hyped on defense. And I learned a lot of skills. I put in a lot of work after after school and just beyond outside of like the season. And then I got pumped up to be co-captain, one of the co-captains. So I was really proud of that.
Mm.
And just being able to be on that field to hype my players up and just to get them and teach them, and then also to motivate them to keep your head up and all that stuff. And um, it just made me become a better version of myself,
Mm.
which I really liked.
That's real cool, man. I always remember, we spent 2 years on the bench together, with basketball, and we were so lit on the bench because we would just have fun, we would root on, and we weren't just sitting there just upset, And I think that was the huge thing. Like of course you want to play, but if you're gonna be on the team, you got to help in any way you can. And I think that's what we both are really good at, was just helping the team even when we weren't on the court. Supporting, putting the energy. Like come on, y'all. Let's it's just really powerful stuff that everybody needs. The team needs people that support, and so that was just huge. And then with soccer, y'all don't understand this guy. was like he was one of the best defenders in our whole public in the whole public league. It was you couldn't nobody they didn't even want to go to his side. They just kicked it to the other side because they was like, we not we not finna deal with him. But yeah, he was a crazy defender. We had the best defense, one of the best defenses at McKinley. That was what made us so good those first couple years because we had guys that would just put it all on defense. Not even soccer players, and then they turned out to be soccer players like you and Daniel, and I was kind of like a more defensive type midfield. So yeah, we definitely play a lot of defense.
Mhm.
All right, so the next question I got for you, man, is you you played like team sports. You played soccer and basketball, and so like how important we kind of already touched on this, but like how important is having like a good team atmosphere and like good team camaraderie to like having a successful unit or on and off the court or whatever.
Um, that's a good question. What I would say is like you have to realize that it is a team sport, even though if you're battling and competing with other guys that are better than you or not better than you, or guys that want to get better than you, or if you're competing for play time, um, it's a team sport. You can't do. You have to accept the fact that you're not going to be able to do everything you want, or you can't beat five guys by yourself. You can, and if you do, but you still need a team regardless. When you play a team sport, it's not to kick your teammates down. It's to work with them, to help them get better, to help you get better, and it's all about the unity in it because you have everybody has weaknesses, everybody has their strengths. And the great thing about team sports is where the weaknesses that you have, your team can make up for that, and then whatever your weaknesses your team have, you can make up for that. And it's just a really good relationship, and it takes a lot of trust. It takes friendship on and off the court most of the times, um, and it's just about bonding too. And I think it's just you play better when you play together. You work better when you work together, and it's just your strength in numbers. I think it's just there's no point of you trying to kick down or look down on your other players because that doesn't make you a better player. You know, there's a difference between great players and great players. Good players and great players. Did I say great and great
Mhm.
players? No, there's a difference between good players and great players. You know, and being a great teammate because everybody's gonna need as much support as they can. And if y'all playing, team sports, you need that support from your teammates. So um, just realizing that you help people and then people help you is crucial because at times when you feel like you're giving up on yourself and you're like, I don't need a team or not, the team's not going to pick you up. So I think it's a lot mentally, but it helps you learn throughout life that you need these relationships.
Yeah, I love that, man. And I know I'm talking more than usual on this interview, but first of all, we just talked with Josh Johnson last episode. And he gave that exact point. He was a star. Like if you go in the gym, you going to see him play pretty much. You know what I'm saying? He was a star, and he got on. And I asked him what was it like being a star playing. He was like, and he basically was like, man, I wasn't. I was good, but I wasn't the star. It was my team. And it basically kind of just saying like it wasn't pressure. Because I know the team's got my back, and I know I can't do it all by myself. And another thing I wanted to talk about, I played tennis, and tennis is really a team sport, but they do have doubles, and so that's kind of teamwork. And I remember my boy from McKinley, he was a senior. I won't say his name. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll say his name. We got Zion, college tennis player. I think he ended up stopping, but he got to play college tennis at the pharmacy, college of pharmacy, and so he wasn't really that good senior year because it was his first year playing. I wasn't good my first year, and so it was like the last game of the season. And if we had won the game, it was our senior night. But if we had won the game, then we would be set up for the tournament because we'd be first seed. And so the coach was like, he didn't want to play on because he was like, because we were playing Metro, which was it was us and Metro, which were the two best teams every year. And so we were playing Metro, and he didn't want to play him. And so I was like, Coach, I'll play with John and we'll win. He was like, I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna win. I was like, Coach, we'll win, I promise. And so we got out there, and all I did was just like encourage John anytime he ever missed. And then he just started playing like crazy good. He was hitting some shots that I couldn't even hit. It was just real fun, and that showed me kind of the power of teamwork and like encouragement. Not giving up on your teammates and trusting them, and then they can surprise you. And so we ended up winning that match, and that was one of the best moments I ever had in tennis. So that was really powerful.
Yeah, most
Right. So
definitely.
yeah, definitely, man. That was crazy. And then I've got the next section. We're gonna switch gears to the life is dope section, which is the section where we appreciate the smaller things in life because sometimes we don't take enough time to do that. And so the first question I have for you is, what is the best movie of all time or your favorite?
Um, that's interesting because I feel like I always don't know the answer to this question every time I get asked this.
Hmm.
Like for fun, like I think the first movie that I really liked was Saving Private Ryan, which was like a war movie. I think it was really good. Um, but like I also like watching documentaries too. I think one of the major documentaries that I watched was a Jeremy Lin documentary. Um, that shifted my aspect of basketball and kind of like my motivation. That was it was a view on like things that we didn't do. So it's like the Jeremy Lin documentary and also that basketball movie called Glory Road, I think. Um, and that movie was talking about how it was basically um, the first full starting five African Americans ever to play like basketball. So like and it talks about like racism and then what happened back in the day. And I think that movie was really good too.
Okay. Yeah. People never give me like those powerful like nonfiction movies. Everybody says like a fiction movie that's like popular. So I almost forgot about all of them. But yeah, those are really powerful. I saw Saving Private Ryan in high school, and that was probably the class I paid a lot of attention in that class, more than normal. That was really cool. And so I would say for me, I always say Finding Nemo, but I mean, people already know that by now if they watch my video. So I'll say I don't know. I'd say one of the most powerful movies I've seen was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. You seen that one?
Nope. I'll put that on my list.
Well, it's on Netflix now, I think, and it's about PTSD, I think. Um, and it's just real powerful, just like a high school movie. I like those like high school movies, even though it's
Hmm.
nothing like high school really. but, but
Right.
I like those type of movies with just like the dramatic crap, and it's kind of cool. So that was really
Yeah.
powerful to like learn that and look at that. And they really got into that type of psychology of like how really that can impact a person, when something
Mhm.
really traumatic has happened. All right, so the next question I have is, what motivates you to succeed?
Um, I think uh my given circumstances in life, I think gives me more motivation to succeed. Um, just me being first generation and I just want to make my parents proud. And I just want to pay them back. And also I want to be happy in life, like I feel like up to now, like I haven't really been like happy or felt like really good about myself. So like I think that motivates me to just keep working on myself and to just keep grinding, to trust that process, and then eventually achieve what it is that I need and what I want, and to be able to succeed. I have to make sacrifices and I have to work hard, So uh, I want to be able to succeed so I can reach the point of life where like I'm happy, And maybe in the future, that may mean getting a decent job, getting a house, my own car, a family, and all that. And just my main motivation is just to want to become the best version of myself I can be, and for other people as well, and also to help those um, that don't have the advantages I have, or to also address people who are in my circumstances. That we there's always a way out. We just got to put our mind to it and just to keep working.
Yeah, I love that, man. It sounds like you got a lot of inner motivation. You know, I think we kind of talked about that. I just had an interview yesterday that's gonna be posted on CB's territory with a new business owner of a barbecue food truck, and so we kind of talked about how outward motivation of like kind of people that you look up to working together with inner motivation of you just wanting to like be the best you. That's some of the most powerful things in the world that you can have if you can have both of them working together, because then it's like nothing can stop you. You're motivated, you're gonna do what you gotta do to kind of get where you want to be. But as a future teacher, I wanted to talk about that one. It's this one point you made where you said you want to be successful, and then that can help you like be a little more happier in life. And so the one thing I try to say a lot is that, and what I learned in class from this teacher, he was like, that's what we're taught in school, that you are you go to class, you get your work done, you go to college, and then you get you a job, and then you'll be happy and successful. But what we kind of talked about is happiness comes first, and then that leads to success. And so that's why I do this life is dope section, to kind of just get people to kind of practice things to help them just be a little more happy and help them be a little more grateful. Because if you start off being happy, I mean, even the research shows that it's going to help you in your other aspects of life and like in school and everything. If you start off with that happy place, that's how you kind of get to the goals that you want. So I think that's really important. Um, but yeah, that was a lot. That was teacher Cortland. You don't see that too often on this channel, but that was just a huge thing that kind of impacted me this semester. And then the last question I have is, oh, I had a couple more questions. What are three things that you are grateful for?
Three things I'm grateful for. Number one, sports. Most definitely, I'm grateful for sports. Um, I'm grateful for my parents, and then I'm also grateful for um, everybody that's supported me. Um, Either it's the real ones, the day ones that have supported me, um, the ones that have listened, and the ones that are willing to help me or ask for my advice. I feel like those people kind of keep me going, and like I never had that in the beginning. So like um, I was really shocked by the end of high school year how much support I had from people. So I'm really grateful to them too.
Okay, okay, yeah, I love that. People definitely had that impact on your life, especially if they support you and they love you. It just changes your whole mindset. It just helps you. It gives you that motivation as well. And then I've already given three things that I'm thankful for, but I'll say one thing that I'm thankful for, which is hand sanitizer. I'll say that during this virus. And I'm thankful just to have the opportunity to talk to people like you, share the stories, hopefully inspire people. That's pretty much why I do this. And it helps me probably more than it helps the people watching, but I just love it. All right, so we got a couple questions left. I think we're gonna switch back gears. And so I got a question. What have you learned about yourself? Did I ask you this already? Probably not. What have you learned about yourself through your athletic career? And have you grown? Do you feel like you've grown as a person?
I like that one. You have not asked me that one yet, but um, so what was it? What have I learned about myself through?
What have you learned about yourself throughout your athletic career, and do you feel like you've grown as a person?
I feel like I've definitely grown um, mentally and physically, of course, but mentally and as a person. And like I feel like I've been a lot more optimistic, more open minded, uh, more helpful, and I've become like a pretty decent person than I was when before I started my athletic career. And I think I think it was just really important to see myself start at the bottom and then eventually, near the end, I kind of like rose up from that. And not only was I able to get better um, at those sports, but also um, how I was, happy to keep on learning, happy to grind, and the people that I met, the places I went. And also, I think one of my favorite parts was, as growth is just me being able to teach and coach other people. I think because when I first started, I didn't like it was new to me to have coaches and stuff like that. And then for me to kind of evolve into a coach and being able to, teach, people that never played the sport or people who are just beginning to go into high school sports and just teaching them little things and little stuff like that and just giving them advice and just helping them because, I've had my story and I also want to help you, be able to create your own. So I think that just made me realize that, man, I've really done a lot, been through a lot, and I've been able to survive all that. So it all made me to who I am now. So I realizing that I was like, wow, uh, I really grew up during that whole process. So
Yeah, that's it. And that's what sometimes we forget to do, especially if we just continue playing the sport. Sometimes we won't look back and realize what it's done for us and how much we have grown. And I definitely like that you brought up coaching because that's what I want to do. And that powerfulness of just helping people is just some of the best that you can do. Coaching, teaching, doing this YouTube channel. I mean, that's my goal is to just help people, inspire people with stories like yours and everybody else, and hopefully, I can be successful with that and just help as many people as possible. So, all right. So the next question, actually, well, I have one more question. I have, are there any role models or icons that you look up to? I think you kind of answered that already, but if you have any more,
yeah, so like my first icon ever was Jackie Chan. I used to love his movies, and I was like, man, I want to be like that man when I grow up. But then after that, it shifted to Dwayne Wade because that was the first basketball player I saw play,
hmm.
and I was like, man, I really like how he moves up and down the court. And then after that, it shifted to Jeremy Lin, and then I know I mentioned him earlier, but he is a pretty big role model for me because the way like how he faced everything that he faced leading up to his short NBA career, and I think he might be actually trying to go back. He's getting ready to go back, I think. So like just everything he faced, I felt like I could relate to him so much, and that really inspired me to create my own story. And that if he made it and he could do the things that he could do, then I could do the things I could do. And I think that really inspired me to just keep going because I've never had like somebody or seen somebody have those certain challenges and just to be able to succeed through that. So I was like, you know what, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's crazy. Didn't he stay 4 years at Harvard? Didn't he graduate?
Yep.
That's crazy, man. You go to the literally, well, I guess it is arguably, but it's arguably the best school in the United States. you graduate from that school, and then you still like you get to go to the NBA too, and so you already set up after the NBA because you got that degree. So if you want to do something
Yeah,
else, you can. That's crazy, man.
yeah.
Um,
What sucked for him was like he nobody wanted to recruit him, and he was
mm,
doing really good. He was doing really good. And I think he led Harvard to a championship too, a title. But yeah,
yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, my kind of my guy that I look up to is kind of Steph Curry, like I talked about before. But because he kind of had that similar play style as me, and he wasn't seen as the most athletic guy on the court, but he let his skill shine through, and that's kind of what I try to do with basketball. But I play tennis now, and with tennis, I'm one of the most athletic guys there because it's the guys that we've been playing are not like super athletic. We're kind of all similar, so I'm good with that. I feel more athletic now than I know I really am, but it's fun.
yeah,
All right, man. It was good to have you on, guys. We had Tony come on and talk about his life, talk about his story with basketball and soccer and how they've helped him grow. He also talked about his icons with Jeremy Lin and how that inspired him. And then he also talked about how it's more than just the sport. You learn from that, and then getting the chance to share your story or to share advice within like a coaching aspect, it can really be powerful. So we want to thank you for coming on today. I always offer a chance to give any last advice or words of wisdom to the people.
yeah. I wouldn't say like whether you play sports, you don't play sports. Being happy is important. You don't have to focus on succeeding or winning in life because that stuff comes after. Um, you can still succeed but not feel happy. You know, so that's really important for you to look into that and to find what makes you happy and to strive for that. And also, um, my favorite word of advice is to celebrate the small victories along the way. I feel like a lot of people focus on big losses or get really upset about certain things, but it's so easy for us to focus on a lot of negative things that we forget to celebrate those little small victories. Whether I helped a kid do his math homework, or um, I pushed somebody's shopping cart back into the store or something like that. Or I graduated high school. Just those little things that you've done or you've accomplished and achieved. Um, just to remember those and keep those, and then go back to those when you get through tough times, because those get overlooked. So just remember to for you to be happy, you have to think happy. I think that's a good way to end off this interview.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think I could say any better words than that for the outro because you took them out of my mouth because that's exactly what we're looking for out of this channel. You talked about celebrating the small victories. That's big on this channel and on my other channel. So subscribe to that, y'all, if y'all really like these interview types. I'm doing them on both channels. And then being happy. You know, that's why we do the life is dope section. But if you haven't noticed by me, that's what I'm all about. You know, is being happy, and that's why we're doing this is to inspire you. Because if you feel more inspired, then you're gonna feel a little bit more happy. You're gonna be like, you know what, I can do this, and that is gonna help you do better in life. And so I want to thank Tony for coming on. Keep those words of wisdom in your heart. Lock the key, and don't let them leave. So, thank you for that, man. I want y'all to
Thank you
know:
for
be awesome, be awesome. Enjoy life, enjoy the process. Trust the process, as Tony said, and just try to do things that make you happy, man. Do things that you love. Deuces.